All right, what is going on, everyone? How is everyone doing? Took last week off. I wasn't feeling that great. I was a little under the weather, so I didn't stream last week, but we're here now, and it's time. We have no more perfect teams. We have no more unperfect teams. Every team has a win, and every team has a loss now. And so we're going to get into it. I have a special guest tonight, but first, I am your commander in chief. I'm your president, your commissioner, your judge, jury, and executioner, the two-time champ, back-to-back, reigning champ, the best. Some say the GOAT. I don't say that. Others do. I don't correct them, though. I'll take it. I am the GOAT. Grant Cron. This week, because your vice commissioner hasn't been around lately. He's been busy. He's had things going on. I've had a little bit of a rotating cast, a few people. And this week we have longtime listener, first time caller. He's here most weeks. He's in the chat. Steel Shamrocks, my brother, Harris Cron. How are you doing? Hey, you know, the league and some networks can have a conversation about that because that's not a bad idea. Well, hey, I have my commissioner hat and then I have my team hat. Team hat is very decorated. Can't hear him. Oh,
Of
oh,
interest, but I'm
oh, here we
excited to be
go.
here.
Hey, John, can you hear him now?
Hello. I'm talking about how much conflict of interest there is. Oh, you didn't turn on your desktop audio, did you?
No, I didn't. No, I definitely didn't.
See, this is what I'm talking about. What you guys just missed. I said, let's get the Steel
I put
Shamrock
all the
segment
evidence out
on the
there.
Aardvark League, and he was like, "No, I'm a commissioner." Blah blah blah. Can't even turn on the desktop audio. I'm getting my own show. I'm fighting for rights.
Yeah, they say they can hear you. I'd be down to give you your own show, your own segment. I think that's definitely
Dude, I'd
something
be
we
down to
can
do a
work on.
segment. That'd be maybe just like a 5 minute, like, what the fuck were they
Just
thinking?
what's his name does on Monday Night Football, Jim Rome's fastest minute of sports or whatever, where he goes through all the NFL games like
Oh, I could do that. That's easy.
so you just like 5 minutes just as fast as you can. So and so happened, big play, blah blah blah, and just go through all the NFL team games.
We'll consider. We'll consider.
Uh,
I
but
gotta see the contract.
yeah, I
Gotta
gotta
talk
get
about money.
I gotta see the numbers. What are the numbers? We'll get right into it here. Let's see. All right. There. All right. So the first matchup I have is Billy versus Mike.
Billy versus Mike. All right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Uh,
God damn, Mike. Thanks for showing up, bro. Dude,
uh,
did you even try this week? All right.
Harris, I don't know if you saw my. So we had someone cross 200 this week and almost broke a record. We almost had two records broken. Mike almost broke the record here for least amount of points scored.
Dude, the craziest part is that he has Christian McCaffrey and he still looks like booty butt cheeks.
Yeah, Christian
Dude.
McCaffrey didn't. I mean, a good week for like most running backs, but for him, I mean, very low scoring week here. Uh, and
Dude,
looking
122,
at
that's a respectable score. That's
oh
a
yeah,
respectable.
uh, but even looking around, it looks like it's just from a couple players. Brees Hall had 33 and Jalen Hurts had 29. If those two players don't put up that performance right there,
Dude,
I
he also
mean,
had a zero pointer too. That sucks. Like you just need points. So that puts
yeah,
you at 70,
I
you know?
think with Hunter, I think I saw he had two targets
Mm.
that day, but just couldn't haul anything in. And so yeah, he's putting up a donut. So Billy really starting to look like the top of the American division here.
Yeah, he's 4-1, 122. That's a respectable win, you know. Original, you do 110, you end up getting 12 more points.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to the next one here. We got my matchup, Grant versus Natalie here. The Aardvark Kings versus Natalie and a wine mixer. I came into this matchup without a win. I was hungry for a win.
Damn.
And I got it, winning 130 to 114.
I wanted on the record that Natalie's logo, there's a lot of creativity in there. Really like it. Saving money on the budget. So huge shout out for just crossing out Catalina and putting N.
uh, yeah, Josh Allen's sticking out for Natalie here, and again, like the 122, 114 is not bad. It's gonna make for close matchups if you consistently put up 114, but it's not necessarily it's not a 66 points is what I'm getting.
But it's also not bad considering that out of her original, it's 118 original, like that's as close as you can get. You didn't outperform, but it's not like a severe underperformance.
Yeah, pretty much you're hitting your projections. If you can trust you can hit your projections, then
I think within 5 is respectable.
Yeah. For my team, Tyreek Hill just the workhorse for me.
Damn, 1-4. Do not mention a comeback though. Jesus, this is.
Hey, we start here. It all starts with 1.
I can't believe your viewers endorse you hyping up your you're the commissioner, you own the radio channel, and now you get to plug about your 1-4.
Hey, at least they know there's no collusion going on. Because if there was collusion going on, I wouldn't have lost the first 4 games.
That's funny. But Tyreek Hill, bro. 37 points. I mean, that's a workhorse right there. That's putting your team up on there. And Kirk, not the quarterback I'd want on my team, but 23 points.
Consistently 20 plus.
Yep.
And so it's the consistency that I love in Kirk. Drake London. D. Yeah, not anymore. I don't. I dropped them after this week. They were a keeper for me from last year, and I was like, "Oh, they're gonna do it. They're gonna be. It's the Patriots. Bill Belichick. Like, why wouldn't they at least be pretty good?"
And honestly, this game could have gone either way, though. I'm looking at your scores too. Like when it comes to your Bill Belichick, your Patriots D, like a 16. Like you guys were favored, 16 points. You do too. Whereas she goes 15 out of 17. You had a chance, Grant.
Yeah.
To really run away with this, and she kept you.
Yeah. I definitely got held back a little bit, but you know what? We got our first win, and we're just happy about that.
That's what it's about. I hear you.
All right, we'll go next one. I got Harley versus Connor. Better luck next time versus worst to first.
Connor, jeez.
A solid performance from Connor.
Yeah. That's pretty rock steady.
I don't know if this might be the highest he's ever scored so far this year. So a good breakout performance. Harley not even doing that bad. I mean, Jacoby Myers getting him 20, Dalton Schultz getting him 19, and Josh Jacobs getting him 19. It's really his quarterback play here that I think held him back the most. And I mean, you hate to see 8.5 from Devontae Adams. You would love to see a 37 pointer like you get from like Tyreek. Did you watch
that game? Did you watch the Devontae Adams? Because
I saw some of it.
Well, there's a point where they weren't throwing him, but he was getting, man coverage. So they were just using him as a decoy. They were just running him long. A few penalties called him back. He had a few other receptions that were called based off penalties. Like that could have easily been a 13-point performance by Adams. And then I think the Raiders just got the best.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see Aaron Rodgers on what I think was McAfee saying that like, oh, Vegas isn't using Devontae right. They're not using him to fight right, and they got to use him like this and blah blah blah. And so maybe that's what it wasn't. They just like you said, it could have been a 13-pointer, could have been probably a 20-pointer, 23-pointer for him, but just not using him.
I'll tell Connor this too. Darren Waller. 2 years ago, if I saw him in a lineup, I would be like, gosh, he could put up 20 points in me at any point. Not anymore. This is a really good performance from Darren Waller. Look at some of his other stats, like 16 points. That's really bold for him to be in a starting position. So smart choice on Connor for sticking to his guts. Yeah. Or he just doesn't have another tight end.
Well, and I don't think he has another tight end. But you know what? It's still, I mean, in the draft, he drafted him. He took a chance on him.
Yep. CeeDee Lamb only gets 8.9. Wow. But Harley, man, One of four, man. Start looking at a fire sale. I'd start Devontae Adams and CeeDee Lamb, and you're losing.
Yeah.
Diversify.
It's coming pretty close to starting to look to next year.
Yep.
For some of us, and I'm in that category too.
It's exactly what the guy who owns the radio has to say.
All right, next one I got Danny versus John. Danis system versus post Mahomes. You always love it when John loses. It's always a good day when John loses.
Okay. Dude, this is a close one. You look at the predictions, post Mahomes.
Danis system definitely overcame. I mean, if you go by projections, definitely overcame deficit. Interesting play going with Russell Wilson.
Yeah. But
especially against the Jets.
I watched the Russell Wilson and Sean Payton skirmish on the sidelines. They kind of yelled at each other.
Well, I don't know if it was yelling at each other. I saw Sean Payton yelling at him, and Russell Wilson just kind of walked away like, you don't talk to me like
country,
that.
Let's ride.
Yeah, let's ride.
Broncos country.
Justin Jefferson only getting him 5.8 points, but it not mattering is the most surprising thing here. I mean, Thielen getting 27 points, Kelsey getting 22, Addison getting 18, and even Russell Wilson. I mean, you take away that fumble he had, I think that's 25 points for him. I mean, ending with 22 is pretty good. I mean, a point under Patrick Mahomes.
Having Addison and Jefferson, too, by the way, that's some psychopath shit, because once the bye week starts rolling around, you are going to be...
What you want to... He has a very Vikings lineup. He's got...
Yeah.
He drafted Dalvin Cook.
This year.
This year. Yeah, this year.
Dude, Dalvin is not looking good, man.
Well, no, he doesn't have any more. He dropped him. Yeah. And he just put Jefferson on his IR and picked up KJ Osborne. Gotta love them Vikings.
Yeah, I'd say skull to that, but that's exactly why you're 2-3. So,
but you know what? A good solid win this week here, putting up 145. It's a good week.
Yeah, I think he's going to be re-inspired going in. I think the Vikings have a late bye week, so
yeah, I want to say 13.
Yeah, he should be okay if he gets Jefferson off the IR in the next 4 games.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got Bijan Mustard versus Cowboys D, which is Travis versus Connor.
Travis versus Connor. Got it. Connor Ryan. 3-2 matchup.
Yep.
Bijan 162. That's it, dude. These are both solid performances.
This is a close one. I mean,
you can't really be. Yeah.
Going into when did they play? Whenever Dallas and San Fran played, was that the Monday night game or the Sunday night game? Sunday night, I think that was. That was the only player left to play. It was 162 to 131. And Cowboys D has put up 50 points a couple weeks now and 20 points. So it was like this was close going into it. I mean, going into that final player. And there was an outside chance that Cowboys D for 54 was going to mount a comeback here and score 163 points. But
I'll tell you what, though, the Jordan Love performance, the 3 interceptions, man, I'll tell you this. If he puts up an average game, let's say 14 points, you're looking at a 180-point performance. He was held back.
Yeah.
He had a good kicker showing. 54 points for more.
Yeah.
Do you need anyone else to show up after that? That's half. Like, his one player almost scored more than Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Mike, bro. So
that is true.
Dude, he could have played his kicker more, and dude, he could have 2 low-scoring players with his highest-scoring player, and he still would have won. So,
that's
Mike,
funny.
Reality check, man. I hope you're doing okay. Someone talk him down.
Yeah. Has someone talked to him lately? Has someone heard from him?
That's rough, dude.
But yeah, this was a very close one. I mean, Jared Goff. Who saw this from Jared Goff? I mean, last year he had streaks of being a good quarterback. But this year, I mean, Detroit's on a whole new level. And even Jalen Warren, I think he's running back 2 in Pittsburgh, doing better than Najee.
Yeah, the depth on some of these teams too. Like, don't pay your guys, man. Make them work for it.
Yep. All right, last matchup. So now that we've gone, we'll do this and then we'll go back. John Popper's harmonica, Trevor versus Jacob. John Popper's harmonica versus Catch Me Outside, Herbert that.
Dude, and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3. These are the matchups that like really define like that early part of the season, because late season injuries set in. If you can beat your peers at this point, especially 214 points, take a picture. Mom, get the camera.
Yeah, and you know what? So we did out of Harris. I don't know if you looked at the Discord chat, but in this group, Aardvark Minor League Fantasy Football League did team up with Taco Bell.
I see that.
If John Popper's harmonica could have beat the record of 230 and a half, everybody would be going home with a free cheesy gordita crunch. It didn't ultimately happen. He couldn't make it happen, which sucks, but...
Excuse me. I would share that promo. I would share that promo on your stream. I would have that come up. That's funny as hell.
But we'll be on one.
You want a horse on this promo?
No, that's Trevor.
God,
because it was Trevor's team. That's a picture, an older picture of Trevor on the top, and then a picture of Trevor on a horse. Then his top performing player, Jamar Chase, I put in there because Jamar Chase got 57 points. So
I love the ingenuity, the ads. This it's like a real league.
Yeah, took me all of like 10 minutes to slap together.
That's funny as hell.
I literally just Googled the Taco Bell ad, and that was popped up. It was like, oh, okay, let's just Photoshop a couple photos in here, throw a filter on it. Perfect. We've teamed up with Taco Bell. They don't know it, but we do.
Dude, 49ers D, Jamar Chase, Justin Fields. Dude, Mike, if you're watching this stream, if you're catching up on this, look at some of these numbers and look at your team's performance. Call someone. Get some help. These guys could have doubled your team. Damn, man. That is 214 is one of the craziest scores I've ever seen.
Yeah, Trevor would have beat Mike with literally just his 2 wide receivers, Jamar Chase and Brandon Ayuk. That's all he would have needed.
Did Aaron Jones not play? Looks like.
No, that's why he wasn't able to hit the record, because
15 points, man, and you're there. You're knocking at the door.
15 points, and we're all going home with cheesy gordita crunches.
The worst part is like 214, respectable. It sucks because it takes away from another like 152. That's still a really that's a great score. You want that score, but
that's the story of Jacob. I mean, Jacob every year puts together halfway decent teams, but just people like to have their best weeks against him.
I guess it comes down to points for and points against. That's how you got to see it. Sometimes you get a crazy amount of points against, but if you're number one in points for, it's just...
Sometimes you're the hammer. Sometimes you're the hammer. Sometimes you're the nail. Yeah. Sorry, so we're going to go back here all the way to Mike's matchup. Billy versus Mike. 66.66 points. Mike, that you are the lowest scoring team this week, which means... You owe $15 to the pot. You can go ahead and contact your local treasurer and get that paid up. When at your leisure, we take Cash App, Cash, Venmo, Zelle. I heard lap dances is one. I don't accept those, but I heard the treasurer does. Yeah, Mike, that's you. Sorry, bud.
You know what, Mike? Pay double, because this is embarrassing. You might just want to do next week, because I would just not set my lineup. I'd take a week off from fantasy.
Pay this week and pay it forward.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go into next week now. First matchup I have is Billy versus Connor.
Gotcha.
Big Smith Energy versus Cowboys D for 54. Now keep in mind, Harris, this may not be when you're gonna go ahead and pick who you think is gonna win. This is not necessarily their finished lineup, But as of today, when I put this
Okay.
together, this is who they had. Um,
I mean, I would be a fool to go against a 4-1 team. I think you got to go Big Smith on this one. I don't really
yeah.
care for the percentages, as you've seen. You had some teams underperform. That really messes with the percentages. Um, but I mean, Eagles D, Cowboys D. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Sometimes the Eagles will have a low-scoring game, but the Cowboys, you never know if they're gonna take it 2 pick sixes. It could go either way. I'm going with Big Smith on this one.
Uh, well, our co-commissioner, our vice president, is inclined to agree with you. He sent in his picks earlier today, and that is who he chose. He chose Big Smith Energy, and this and keep. So I think this is the week here. Some of us, some other teams may have, but this is official. I think everybody is now. This is interleague play. We are playing the other division, so this is
Nice.
middle to top of the Lebanese division, and Billy is top of the American division right now. Him and Natalie are number 1 and 2 in the Americans.
There you go.
And I would love to go with the new and Cowboys D for 54. Harris is an expansion team this year. This is his first year in the league, and
Well, dude, you're doing pretty 3-2. I mean, you've seen some dudes who've been like some legacy teams in this
some
league
people
that
they
are
call
doing
the
3-2.
GOAT of fantasy football not having a great year, not having a GOAT-like
man.
year.
Well, shout out to the Cowboys D for 54 because that's a strong early record.
But I am gonna go. I'm gonna go with Big Smith Energy. Also, I think
Smart.
Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, Kenneth Walker are just forces that Cowboys D for 54 just really doesn't have an answer for.
Agreed.
He has a bunch of middle to high level players going against some big boys.
Ugh.
All right, next we got Connor versus Grant. Worst to first versus the Aardvark Kings. I'm fresh off a win.
It depends, though. But here's what you got. You got a Kirk Cousins now without Justin Jefferson. There's plenty of other weapons. You got Derrick Henry coming off a week that he didn't really perform at. Tyreek Hill. That's someone he is. If he wears no socks or if he wears socks next week, I don't know if you've been seeing that, but that might tank your numbers if he has to do some socks. You know what, Grant? I'm going with worst to first. It's close,
Yeah.
58-42. That's a really close percentage. It's not enough for me to be confident, but 4-1, you can't argue with that again.
Yeah,
I'd be a fool to go against it.
He's the leader in the Lebanese division right now.
Yep.
And so going up against the worst in the American division. So, yeah, Vegas Vegas says this is a 20-point spread. And
but you could, if you win though, you have everything to gain. Nothing to lose.
If I win, I'm taking down Giants with me.
Yeah,
I'm taking down some big people. I mean, I do think I can win. I think I do have a path. It is a harder matchup for me. I mean, worst to first on paper, looking at it, I think is the better team. Tua is playing outside of his mind right now. Cooper Kupp is back, and what was that projected 23 points?
He had a massive week last week. They were running him up and down the field. Waddle can't catch a ball.
Nico Collins seems to be doing very good. ETN is a good running back. James Cook. On paper, this is the better team. I mean, I'm heavy in my one slots, in my RB1, my wideout one, but once you get into my twos, I'm thin. Drake London hasn't been doing that great. Perrine, he's RB2 in Denver. Last week it was Gus Edwards. I don't know. So I think I have a path, but I need everybody on their game. And
you also have a Thursday night football player, so good luck with that. If he plays like crap early, you might want to just
yeah. So we'll see. And of course, Connor took himself. We never vote against ourselves in these games. And this is a battle of the network right here too.
The network battle right here.
Yeah.
This is America's game of the week. Lebanon's game of the week.
Well, after we go all through all these, I'll have you pick what you think your matchup of the week is.
Okay. Right now, that's my front runner because that's close in score, but let's keep going.
Next, I have Jacob versus Travis. Catch Me Outside, Herbert That versus Bijan Mustard. This is a close one. I mean, you have two people who, I mean, I don't know who Travis has for a backup quarterback because he's got Jordan Love in, who's on bye. So I don't know if he's going to play the waivers or if he's got someone on his bench that he's going to swap in. But
I'm going with Bijan because guess what? Jordan Love didn't have a good week. It was like almost like not having a quarterback last week. If he finds anyone on waivers that's going to play, like anyone,
they'll do better.
he's going to get points that he wasn't allocated that projection for. Los Angeles, like Herbert's got to play Dallas. Dallas is a massive defense. Chances are he's not going to have the numbers that he has. I think I'm going Bijan.
So he does have a quarterback. I'm looking at his lineup right now. He does have a quarterback on his bench. It's Joe Burrow. Is his bench quarterback?
He'll be just fine. He'll be just fine.
Yeah. And, you know, I think even if he puts Joe Burrow in, he's going to be projected lower. But I don't think that matters. I'm going to go with Bijan also. I think there's just nothing, if I look over at Catch Me Outside, Herbert That's team, that like excites me. Laporta, I mean, he's had a couple good games. Pacheco, I feel like can be streaky. Mixon, I haven't heard a lot from Mixon, but I mean, still a good running back. But I mean, Bijan is also playing out, is just unreal.
I'll tell you this, Jacob, really proud of you for putting Pacheco in your lineup. That guy runs like a freight train, like, and he's tiny. Like that, when you watch him play, he doesn't play anything below 100%. So I think those are a lot of points that people really never allocated for until they started seeing him play. I think you have a few guys on there. Calvin Ridley, who's fine. Ravens D could go either way. Like I would try and do your projections based off not defense, everything but defense, because you win some, you lose some with them. That's all I gotta say on that.
Yeah, they can either really help you or end up costing you.
It's never status quo, of course. So.
And the consensus from our vice president on this matchup is Bijan. So all three of us are going Bijan.
I like that.
All right. Next one we got is Mike versus Harley. CMC you later versus Better Luck Next Time.
Ooh.
Harley is hunting for a second win. He's hungry. That's Harley as a team when you look at it that you think should be better than 1-4.
Harley, if you're watching this, this is a 1-4 team. Don't listen to my brother. He has no clue what he's talking about. This is a 1-4 team. Start a fire sale. Gets like, okay, you got CeeDee Lamb. Let's be honest. You got Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I like Jacoby. I like Josh Jacobs.
Here's what I would do. Harley, listen to me. I would I'd
find a better quarterback. That's all I would do.
On the block, and I would trade for a really good running back and a really good quarterback. You could get two players easy for them. I would go for Pacheco, and I would go for, I don't know. I go for someone aggressive. But I'll tell you this: Josh Dobbs is going to be the reason why you stay at 1-4. With that being said,
he does have Jimmy G on his bench.
Are you ready for this, Grant?
Yeah.
I think he's going to win this week because guess what, Mike? Go into hiding. Don't show your face for the next week. Let last week really set in. I cannot endorse you after a 66-point performance. It's just bad luck for the brand.
Yeah. I definitely thought you were about to play a soundbite on that. I mean, Mike does have a good team. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, I mean, is also liable for a 50-point week.
It's Cleveland. Could happen. And that's Cleveland without a lot of guys that could come. I don't know, man.
I'm gonna go with Mike. I mean, yes, it was rough seeing 66 points from him last week, but I don't think
it's the Aardvark League, baby. Anything can
happen, baby. You don't
That's
understand. I'm gonna go with Mike. And Connor says Harley. So we got 2 for Harley, 1 for Mike. Next matchup I got is Natalie versus Danny. Natalino Wine Mixer versus the Danis system. Danis system also, Harris, is the second expansion team. So he went from 10 teams to 12 teams.
3-2 versus 2 and 3. Natalie's first in her league, right?
Nope. Billy is. And then it's
Billy
Natalie. Then it goes Natalie, then Mike. Which, after, not this matchup, but the matchup after this, I'll put the standings up on the screen.
I think I'm doing Danny on this one. Just going over it. I would be interested
Interesting.
to see.
Huh. So you're saying you like Deshaun Watson and you didn't think he did it. They were all making it up, is what you just said.
No, I don't think Deshaun Watson's playing this week.
No,
he wasn't supposed to play this week.
He does carry an injury designation. I can't see what that is right now, but
yeah, I'm pretty
same
sure
with
he was
Addison.
confirmed not playing.
What do you know what Addison's deal is?
No. Kelsey is going to go off against Denver. That's just how that is.
Yeah.
Denver sucks. And I don't know who Natalie's backup tight end is. So,
I don't think she has one yet.
There you go. I think Bills D though, and they're playing the Giants. I think that's easy 20 points, easy. I'm going Danny. Loud and clear for the people in the back. Danny.
I'm gonna go, just because of all the injury designations I'm seeing, I'm gonna go with Natalie.
Yep.
It looks like a cleaner. I mean, even missing a player, she's projected higher. I mean, and this is famously the show that says projections don't matter, which I agree with. But I mean, come on, look at the projection.
She's using her draft capital to buy a house. You can't trust her.
Yeah.
So
there's embezzling in the organization going on.
Right.
And Connor also went with Natalie. That was his pick.
Smart man.
Keeping the house. Got to keep the house together. The house together.
Yeah, right.
And our last matchup for the week is John Popper's harmonica versus Post Mahomes. Trevor versus John.
2 and 2 versus a 2 and 2.
Yep. Or 2 and 3 versus 2 and 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3.
This I think this will be a pretty good matchup. I think this should say something more along the lines of 50-50 on the projections.
I agree. Gosh. Looking at these players, I'm surprised Post Mahomes only has 2 wins.
Really?
Yeah, but I guess Mike Evans has been struggling with an injury. He didn't even play last week. DeAndre Swift. I don't know. I'm going with Post Mahomes. I don't think Justin Field has a good week against the Vikings, and I think those 21 points are crucial to a victory, and I don't think he's going to get 21. Patrick Mahomes is playing Denver. Dude, he's going to throw for 500 yards. So I'm going Post Mahomes.
Well, John, you got someone to trick him. You tricked someone and got him to vote for you. I'm going to go with John Popper's harmonica. I mean, I like that for me, it comes down to the David Montgomery, Tony Pollard, Jamar Chase, Chris Godwin combo right there.
That's pretty
it's a solid block.
Yep.
But hey, good for you, John. Someone voted for you. Someone's got to vote for you eventually.
Good thing you told me you couldn't hear me in the beginning. You would never have heard his endorsement.
And Connor did go for John Poppers also. So yeah, that's all of them. I'm gonna real quickly put up the standings. Oh, I didn't send
Okay.
them to you. But I'm sure,
That's
everyone
okay.
can look at this and just pull it up there and just kind of go over it. Like I said, every team at least has one loss, and every team now has at least one win. Big Smith Energy and Worst to First riding top in their respective divisions. Keep in mind, guys, this year for playoffs, top 3 from each division go. And if you're the number 1 seed in your division, it is a first round bye in the playoffs. So right now, Worst to First is and Big Smith Energy are the candidates for that first round bye. On that, no other big real changes here. Cowboys D for 54. I mean, gonna make a playoff spot. An expansion team could make the playoffs. That's something we could see. Yeah, other than that, everything pretty normal so far. I'm gonna go back to the main screen now. So yeah, that's it for this week, guys. I'll tally up after next week where we are for the side pot for the most sacks, and I'll let you guys know that next week. Other than that, I think that's it. Harris, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I gotta pick my game of the week.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah, you got to pick your game of the week. What are you thinking?
I'm telling you, this is the easiest game of the week, and it's based off a few things. I'm choosing CMC later versus Better Look next time. Tell you a few reasons. It is also the closest in percentage, which is a big deal. That kind of was my logic, but if you really think about it, Harley's looking for a win. He's got to get some momentum going on to the midseason. He's 1-4. If he doesn't win, you got to start selling. You got to start building capital. CMC coming off the biggest loss in the league. He's got to show himself if he can really.
Yep.
It's your resilient team.
Yeah, does he belong up top?
Perform? Right, exactly. And if you're 3-2, you could go to 3-3. Then you end up being 500. Harley has nothing to lose. You got to stay resilient in this. That's what I think. That's my game of the week. I'll be interested to see how it goes.
I like it. That's a good game of the week. Because yeah, projections are pretty close, and Mike needs to really show out and prove that he belongs on the top, and Harley's hungry. This is one of those matchups that Harley gets a win. All of a sudden, a team like Mike, a 3-2 team, now all of a sudden the standings are getting closer. They're starting to we're in the stages where things can flip flop and start to get out of hand.
Right. And he's only 1 win or 1 loss away from Harley. Then you're 2 games out. This is your time to make up lost ground.
Yep. Like it. I love that for a game of the week. So yeah, guys, that'll be it. You can catch me and Harris later on Harris's Twitch stream. We will be playing Baldur's Gate 3.
In about 3 minutes. So this is good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we got to get going. So all right, buddy. Well, thanks for joining us this week. Everyone have a good rest of the night.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck.
Peace out.